October numbers are in and they're really weird. Things are very stable, but at the same time, could go either way really fast. Let me show you. Let's start with available inventory. So here we are as of the end of October. We actually took a dip in available inventory. That's not great. We already had so few homes to sell, and buyers were already having a hard time finding homes. Pending sales here, we see a little bit of an uptick, but this was after a downward trend for 5 or 6 months or so of gradually decreasing. Now we're getting close to time of year when we traditionally see fewer people getting into escrow. We're getting close to the holidays, getting close to Thanksgiving. We get close to Christmas, New Year's. During that time, people's priorities change. So we think this might go down this year as well to fit the same pattern as almost every other year, other than the couple of weird years that we had. But here's the interesting thing. Median price has held steady for 6 months now. This is the monthly view, pretty much a straight line, but let me show it to you on a weekly basis. So take a look here. We have spent about 6 months riding this line here between about 435 and 460, up and down, making me a little dizzy here. It's like watching a tennis match. Never below 435, never higher than 460. 6 months. First series in that trend was May 7th. Now, price per square foot here, pretty similar. It looks to me like a slightly upward trend, but realistically, even if we go back 6 months, it's really a real shallow increase. Very, very flat towards the end in the last, let's say, 3 or 4 months. And in these last couple of weeks, we've seen the median rent come down a little bit, under $2,100 for the first time in probably 7 months. We've said multiple times that everything depends on what the Fed decides to do. So the Federal Reserve has chosen to not increase rates for 2 months in a row, which is the first time they've held steady for that long in kind of a long time. So what does that mean for mortgage rates? Well, the Federal Reserve doesn't directly control mortgage rates, but individual banks do. But that rate does heavily influence that. But banks have their own ability to set rates however they want to. So what we're seeing today are rates that are getting really close to 8%. And the last time we had rates this high, it was the year 2000. So it's been a very long time since we've seen rates this high. And a lot of buyers are pulling out of the market the closer we get to 8. Now, these are average rates across the United States. So not where I am, not where you are, but just an average across all states. The source is directly from Freddie Mac. When you look at mortgage rates by survey through different sources, we get some different answers. So I've seen a couple of reports that show rates at or just a little higher than 8%. That number is a pretty hard psychological number for people to get over. So the difference between 7.9 and 8.1 is very small, but there are a lot of buyers who will simply not move forward at an 8% rate. So what we're hoping is that rates stabilize and give us a little bit of stability. We see a nice stability in price, but it would be great to see some stability in rate, because if rates go higher, there's a real chance that more buyers pull out, sellers have to reduce prices in order to sell, and we see market prices drop on homes. If the Fed decides to hold steady or lower rates, as they lower rates, I think we have a lot of pent-up buyer demand. We're going to see a lot of buyers jump in so that they're not at that high 8% rate or 7.875 rate. That kind of buying activity is going to drive prices up. Okay, so here's another paradox though. We are at an affordability index of 57. That means that the median household income is 50% of what you would need in order to purchase the median priced house right now. No one would say that that's affordable. That is super, super low. So there is certainly room to drop, because if the average person can't afford the average house, then how do we continue to sell houses? So there's room for prices to come down, but it's just not happening. The demand is too high. We're funneling more and more people into the city while not having any good solutions for where they're going to live. So there you have it. Prices are pretty flat right now and have been for about 6 months. So they're holding steady, even though we've got a lot of crazy things going on. Buyers are pulling back from the market because rates are so high right now, but that's not having an effect on price yet because inventory is so low. So hit that subscribe button, like the video, share it if you like, but definitely subscribe, because I'll keep putting out the updates on what's happening with the market, and whether prices go up or down, you'll want to know right away. Thanks for tuning in.